12s from all over. I'm G. Scott. That is Stacy Ross. We're still hanging out, still doing this Seahawks pre-draft virtual party. As you can see, we have a guest that needs no introduction, but I tell you what, he is a third-round draft pick out of Purdue in the 2008 draft. He's a Super Bowl champion. They call him the Haitian creation, Cliff Avril. Cliff, what's up, man?
Nothing much, man. Just hanging out. I'm glad to be on the show with you guys. How you guys doing?
We're good, man. We're good. We're trying to stay healthy and everything. But speaking of us being good, we all been trying to stay busy, during this pandemic, which is, something that you're absolutely been busy as well. Your Cliff Avril Foundation, you guys donated $50,000 to Seattle-based organizations for those that are on the front lines and everything during this pandemic. Cliff, what made you do that, man?
Well, man, it's a crazy world we're in right now. It's a crazy time, should I say, that we're in right now. We've never been a part of anything like this. And, as you're watching, schools are shutting down, jobs are shutting down, people, things are going to get real interesting. So for me, being fortunate and my foundation as well, my foundation donated 25,000. I matched it as well, and it was really just trying to focus on a community that supported me for so long, right? These kids, a lot of kids in the inner city, man, they depend on these lunches and breakfast from school, So I decided to reach out to a couple of different organizations, the Boys and Girls Club to be one of them in particular, where that's what they were going to do. They were going to still provide breakfast and lunch for these kids. And again, it's just important for us, if we're able to give back to the community that's done so much for us.
Cliff, you do so much for Haiti. You do so much for the community here, locally here in the state of Washington. Take us back to the first day that you woke up one morning and you was like, yo, I'm about to just start giving. What happened? What made you start doing that?
It was a process, man. It was a process. It wasn't like just one day it was like, yeah, I need to start giving. It was more of like I would have the conversations with my dad, my mom, and both of my parents are from Haiti. So my mom would always say, hey, we should do something for Haiti. And I'm like, we'll get around to that. I didn't know how to. And honestly, it was Marshawn Lynch actually introduced me to some people that were doing some work in Haiti. And that's when it sparked the actual doing stuff in Haiti in particular. And, we've been doing a lot of things there. We built the elementary school out there. We do football camps. We do a wide range of different things in Haiti. And then obviously, we do stuff here in Seattle and back home in Jacksonville. But it's just a process, man. Again, you realize how fortunate you are. And I know growing up, I never got to meet any NFL players. So that was always a thing of mine, is to show a lot of these kids that, hey, you can do it too. And, not only do you see me on the TV screen, I will come to your school and holler at you and chop it up with you and show you that, hey, we're the same. You just got to put in that work.
It's awesome stuff. But hey, it's the virtual draft party. I have to ask a draft question. You knew it was coming. We're so used to seeing Seattle trade back, but it's been a busy first 2 days. What do you make of the 3 picks so far?
You know what? It's interesting. They're going after every position we thought they needed help in, right? Initially, going with Jordan Woods, I believe, is the first pick. I was a little surprised because I was thinking, they didn't need any more linebackers. You got Bobby, you got KJ, you got some of the other guys that are already there. So I was thinking maybe offensive line or even D-line. But then the next few picks, that's exactly what they did. They went and got some players for the offensive line. They went and got some players on the D-line. They went and got a Leo, what it looks like he's going to be a Leo going into camp or whatnot, which is a position that they've been trying to fill since Frank left. Obviously we don't know what Clowney's situation is going to be, but bringing in a young pass rusher, I think, is huge for this team moving forward.
Hey, can I actually ask, in a fan-friendly way, can you explain what a Leo is? I always get questions about this, and I'm like, well, I'm the worst person to explain this. Let's ask Cliff Avril.
Yeah, so the Leo position is on this defense is basically a tweener, a guy that can stand up and play linebacker or drop back into coverage, not necessarily be a linebacker, drop back into coverage when they have certain blitzes or whatnot. But also, he can pass rush as well. He can play in the run game as well. So a guy that can do both of those, and usually depending on the call, he's either head up on the tight end or to the open side. Just depends on the particular call. But like I said, he can drop back into coverage and also pass rush.
Cliff, usually both Stacy and I have asked, we asked Lawyer Malloy, we asked Matt Hasselbeck about some of the advice that would be giving to a rookie that's going to come into the National Football League. But I want to get specific right here. What advice would you give for the Seahawks rookies that are drafted to be successful playing under Pete Carroll?
Well, I would say in general, as you enter into the NFL, just understand that it's a different dynamic that you're going into. It's not college where all the freshman class essentially stays together those 4 or 5 years. This is a business now that you're getting into, so you have to be about your business. So meaning once you get in there, just understand that every day you're applying for your job. Every day you go in, you have to make sure you put your best foot forward. But in this particular case with Coach Carroll and those guys, I think the biggest thing for the rookies is enjoy the process, enjoy, the festivities, the music playing, shooting hoops, all that stuff. Enjoy all of it, but understand that when you go into that football field, it's go time. So don't get those lines blurred and thinking, hey, this is college, this is fun. Just understand that you can have fun and go be productive, but don't get lost in having fun with the team and not being productive, because you will get fired. So go out there, enjoy Coach Carroll, but make sure you put your best foot forward every single day.
Cliff, help us kind of understand what a rookie is thinking. Like, go back to 2008, and I don't know what it's like. What right now, from the time a rookie gets the phone call to the time that they get ready to head to the facility, help us understand what is going through the mind of a rookie.
You know what? I tell people this all the time. I say, honestly, the top 10 pick guys, like, the draft is only fun for those guys. Like, the top 10 pick guys, the guys that know they're going to go top 10, because you kind of know where you're going to go. The rest of the guys, like, you're at a standstill. It's the first time in your life where you don't actually get to pick where you're going to go. You're waiting to get a phone call. Hopefully you get a phone call, and then you kind of figure things out. So either, if you get your call on day 2 in the second round, you're excited, don't get me wrong, but it's still nerve-wracking. So that piece is one. And then really you just don't know what to prepare for. You have a rookie mini camp probably a week after the draft. You're trying to get in shape, but all season, this last 2 to 3 months, you've been just trying to do combine stuff. You're trying to get fast, trying to get agile, but you're not really doing football stuff. So going into a mini camp, you have no clue what to expect, and you go out there and hopefully you're in shape. Hopefully you don't tweak anything, different things like that. So you just don't know what to prepare for. So uncertainty is the common theme throughout the first year that makes it a little difficult for guys. But once you get on a rhythm and you kind of understand, the playbook and different things like that, then it kind of starts to fall in line. But it's a lot of uncertainty and you're just nervous throughout the whole process.
Yeah. Look, we know this is an unprecedented time for all of us in every way. So none of us have the answers to anything. But as far as just football goes, specifically acclimating to the NFL for these rookies, what's some advice you would give them specifically with this offseason? Like, if you were a rookie right now, how would you approach this offseason when you don't have a rookie camp, or maybe you have a virtual one? OTAs have been postponed. What would you do, and what would you tell them?
Reach out to your vets, man. Luckily, you got KJ Wright and you got Bobby Wagner, right? Then you reach out to Jaron Reed and whoever else at whatever position. I think you reach out to your vets and see what they're doing, see what's working for those guys, and it kind of gives you a starting point. And then you kind of try to work you work it into that. Make sure you're on the phone with your coach all the time. Don't feel like you're ever bothering your coach, especially in these times, because they need those phone calls too. They're used to being around all the players, right? So make sure you reach out to your coach and learning that playbook. So when you get in there day one, there's no lag. You know your stuff, and it shows how much of a professional you are. So reach out to your rookies and reach out to your coach or your vets.
Right. I want to talk specifically about Darrell Taylor, because he's going to be stepping in on that defensive line. That's your area. That better than anyone. You've been there with this team. What have you seen from him that makes you think he'd be a good fit for Seattle?
Well, I was actually watching his highlight last night and this morning, and he's explosive. He's fast off the line of scrimmage. He already has those tangibles because I believe he played a little bit of outside linebacker as well. So he has that Leo, can drop back if you need him to, but also pass rush. I see how explosive he is off the line of scrimmage. He even has a little bit of strength behind him as well, where he bull rushes guys and can finish on the inside. So he has a great starting point for sure. Now, obviously, there's a lot of things to build off of, but I definitely think he can be a guy that can step in early. He's smart enough to be able to play both positions as far as for dropping it and going forward or whatnot. So it's a good starting point for him. I think with Coach Hurd and getting around some of the other guys, he can definitely step in day one and be productive.
Hold up, we got time. You just mentioned we got time. It's a pandemic going on, so we might as well stay here and hang with us. So you mentioned, let's stay on Darrell Taylor right here. You mentioned some of the things that he's going to have to work on. Help us know what we need to look for in my man Darrell on the line to where we can say, yeah, he's getting close to being Cliff Avril. Let's talk about some of those tangible things.
That's asking a lot right there. All right, that's asking a lot.
Okay, but what's some of the things? What's some of the things that he's going to have to get better with going forward? What are some of the lessons he's going to have to learn, Cliff?
It's going to boil down to technique, right? Again, you're watching this film, you see the one tangible that you can't teach, and you got to just make sure guys have his heart. Like you can tell he has that, right? He's not afraid of contact, because even pass rushing, a lot of people think pass rushing isn't a physical attribute that you need to have. No, pass rushing is extremely physical, and you see him wanting to bull rush and different things like that. The next step, I would say, is being able to use your hands while you're moving your feet, right? Being able to knock hands down and still be able to move forward towards quarterback. These are things that you just have to gradually learn over time. They're not teaching you this in college. You're just an athlete out there just beating guys. Now you're actually going against some of the best guys. So how do you beat them guys? Using your hands, using leverage, getting low. All those types of things are things that he'll just have to learn as he moves forward. But again, he has some of those things that you can't teach, right? Like I just said, he has heart, and that's huge right there.
Over the years, Cliff, I remember back in the day, Red Bryant, you, Chris Clemens, and Frank Clark. Every time I see you guys at the VMAC, you guys always turn the corner.
Yeah.
Why y'all always be doing that? Like, that's all you do all day. Talk to us about why y'all get the
That's
hands.
what I'm saying.
What is that about, man?
That's what I'm saying. Being able to use your hands, man, turning your hips, being able to understand how to use both your hands, your feet, your hips, being able to turn towards the quarterback. Not everybody can do it, but it is something that you can learn, right? And your hands, just being able to, the one thing I used to do, I used to box during the off season, and I used to do a lot of little karate type things where I'm just knocking hands off, because you got to be able to knock hands off while you're moving. And that's something that young players unfortunately don't learn until they get to the league, unless you have a great coach in college. But yes, turning your hips, flipping your hips all the time, make sure those things are loose, because again, getting after these quarterbacks, and these quarterbacks get a little more agile nowadays too. So you got to be able to rush, keep your eye on the quarterback, and use your hands. So it's asking for a lot, but I think a lot of guys, as long as you continue to train over it over and over, it's easy.
You got to do the hands one more time.
They need to turn the doors like that all the time. That is the Haitian creation. Cliff Avril, thank you, brother. I appreciate you.